Business Growth Summer Series. I am Julie Holton. I am the owner and principal strategist of M Connections Marketing Agency, and I am so excited to welcome you today as we kick off our 10-week-long summer series focused on helping you grow your business. This is for small businesses, medium to large businesses, nonprofits, anyone looking to create some real sustainable growth. We know that right now the economic headlines are a little uncertain. And so we're teaming up with some of our favorites in the industry in order to share some knowledge and insights with you on marketing tactics that we see working for our clients, for ourselves, and now we want to put them to work for you. So before we kick off today's presentation, a quick shout out to the other presenters who will be joining me later on in the 10 weeks for this series. We have Paul Schmidt. He is the owner of Uno Deuce Multimedia, a fantastic video production team based in Lansing. Paul will be joining us next week, in fact, to start talking about video marketing. So we will have a couple presentations from Paul throughout the series. Also joining us for this series is Jesse Flores. He is the owner of Super Web Pros, best in the industry, in my humble opinion, when it comes to building and developing website solutions to help you position your business for growth or nonprofit or organization. So really excited to have Jesse and Paul join me throughout the next 10 weeks, along with some key members of our M Connections team. Mary Kate Horgan will be joining us later in the series to talk about growth through social media. And kicking things off today is our senior strategist, Alexis Newman. Today, Alexis is going to kick off the series talking about something that we get a lot of questions about: Instagram Reels. Are they really, okay, pun intended, last pun of the day, are they really as important as all the hype? There's a lot of hype right now about making sure your business is on Instagram or on TikTok. And so today, Alexis is going to walk us through what an Instagram is, how to simplify the creation process without skipping all of the steps within the algorithm that you need in order to gain traction. So go ahead, Alexis, let's kick things off.
Today, we're going to talk about Reels. We're going to talk about creating powerful content on Instagram. So content that we create for our businesses, we always want it to be powerful content that's going to increase engagement, help us connect. One of the best ways to do that is actually through video. So video gets more exposure and engagement across all platforms. This means that users love video. So all video content performs best with most of the social media algorithms. It captures people's attention for longer, they engage with it better, and that keeps people on the platform longer. So that's why those platforms really like video content. Use video on social media, but today we're going to focus on Instagram, and one of the best ways to do that is through Reels. What are Reels? What is a Reel on Instagram? What kind of sets that apart? An Instagram Reel is a short, entertaining video where you can express creativity, bring your brand to life. It's a dynamic way for you to connect with your audience. So unlike photos, which are more static, Reels actually give people a sense of who you are. They allow people to see your face, to see you behind the scenes, to get a better sense of your business and your services. It gives people a chance to get to know you in person. So helps you bring your brand to life. Why do people use Reels? What do people watch them for? They watch Reels to participate in trends, collaborate with the community, and discover things. So discover new ideas, discover new opportunities, discover new businesses, particularly local. Local is such a huge, there's such a huge push for people to shop local and to participate in the local things happening in their community. And Instagram Reels give people a chance to connect with other people who are in their community, who are in their industry. So it's a huge collaborative tool. So we're gonna watch a reel here that's going to speak to my next point. In other words, keep it simple. So there's no need to reinvent the reel. Reels have a lot of different options for what you can post and how you can post. There's no need to try to go crazy and try to reinvent things. There's already 1,000 different topics and different things that you can post about. And these are just a few of them. So what can you post for your business on Instagram with Reels? You can post behind the scenes content, encouraging messages, showing your workspace, employee spotlights, introduce yourself, product highlights, cross promotion, a day in the life, success stories, before and after, FAQs, tips and tricks, join a trend, checklist, tutorial stories. The list is endless. Essentially, you can post anything that allows people to connect with your business and get to know you. Anything that's on brand for your business is going to be a great topic for your Instagram Reels. So we're going to look at some examples of great Reels that speak to some of these topics. All right, so this first Reel, one of the things we love about this Reel is the humor and the relatability in this Reel.
know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back.
So again, humor, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it's relatable, right? It gives people a look behind the scenes into this particular business and, you know, kind of shows people, here's the great stuff that you see as the end product. And here's what we look like when we're just working hard. We're sitting at our computers, you know, we're providing this service for you. And it gives people a little bit of a taste of that brand, that business's personality. So here's another Reel. And the thing that we love about this one is that we get to see the owner. So the woman who runs this business is actually the one that's featured in the Reel.
Ice on my neck, that's incoming. I'm a pretty boy, I'm stunning. Super speed Sonic, I'm running. Super speed Sonic, I'm running. Call me Big Papa, I'm Sonic. Asked about the what she wanted.
So if I'm seeing this Reel, if I live where this business is, or if they have, you know, an online website, I'm really going to connect with them. I see her, she looks fun, she's engaging, and I can actually see her, a real woman, a real person, wearing the clothes that she's selling in her store. And that, as a consumer, as an audience member, that lets me connect with her. It lets me connect with the pieces that she's selling. And it makes me want to, you know, want to go to the store. Maybe I'm going to get to meet her. Maybe I'm going to get to see some of the things that she's wearing in this Reel. It really kind of gives me more of that one-on-one than just seeing pieces posted, you know, with models wearing them or on a website. There's really that interpersonal connection that you get with a Reel like this. So here's another one that we really like. The thing that I like about this one is that it's not overly staged. And that's something else to remember with your Reels. They don't have to be polished, you know, big productions. These are videos. Most often Reels are just videos that people take with their phone, and they add some music, they add some graphics, and they post them. And that's what people connect with. There's an element of authenticity when you are posting Reels that aren't overly staged, but are still well thought out and still match your brand and your business that people are going to connect with. So let's take a look at this one.
Step by step, bit by bit, stone by stone, yeah, brick by brick, oh yeah, step by step.
So something else I'm going to mention about this video too is that there's not a lot going on here, right? We're just watching this woman work. And there's a little caption. The music is paired really well with this video. You know, there's just a little bit of text on the screen, but there's a caption here that actually explains what it is that she's doing. So your video doesn't always have to contain all of the information. You can still use this caption space to provide additional information that maybe isn't captured in the video. And the video is just something to get people's attention. It's just something to get them watching and say, okay, I mean, yeah, I'm watching her work on this. It's interesting, it's engaging. And now I'm actually going to read about reusing materials and, you know, reducing waste in this person's industry. Okay, Jesse, I saw that you just asked a question about music licensing. So Instagram has, it is licensed and it's all within the Instagram app. So you can add audio, and we're going to get to this in a couple more slides, but you can add audio to your videos ahead of time. We really suggest using the audio that is provided by Instagram. One, you're going to avoid any licensing restrictions that might come up. Instagram has a endless list of music, including that Whitney Houston song that you can add. And Instagram is really only going to recognize your audio when you add it directly through the app. So if you add audio to your video ahead of time, so say you're using a program like Canva or another video production app to create your video, and you add audio, Instagram isn't going to recognize that audio. So when we talk about trending audio and trending music, that's also going to be more beneficial for you to add the music right within the Instagram app. And it is licensed. And then you're not going to have to worry about, like on YouTube or sometimes on Facebook, you'll see that happen where audio gets turned off because there's a licensing or copyright restriction. That's not going to happen if you're using the music that's provided within the Instagram app. Great question. Okay, so here's another reel. This is one of our M Connections reels. One of the things we love, first of all, is the adorable baby. It happens to be my baby. And the other thing is, again, we're talking about utilizing this caption space. So let's take a look at this reel and the caption.
Do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win.
Always cute, right? So one of the voiceover, it's just the song. So we put all of our text and all of our interesting content here. So the video is really to get your attention because it's cute and it's kind of fun. And then we're actually information in the caption. So even the most simple video can still be really powerful because you also have this additional space that you can connect with your audience. This is to help get their attention, to give them a little bit of that, here, get to know us. And then this space is where you can share some of your industry knowledge. You know, you can put that thought leadership content into the caption. Okay, and lastly, something else that's great with Reels is cross promotion. And we talk about, but cross promoting is a powerful marketing tool, and you can do it with Reels. We're going to watch this reel and we'll talk about cross promotion.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
We're giving kind of a day in the life behind the scenes of one of our contractors at M Connections. And she happened to be working in a variety of different coffee shops. And so we actually tagged, you can see down here, we actually tagged all of the coffee shops that she worked in, some of which were local to her. And I think, I'm not sure if you can see, oh yeah, here we go. They actually commented. And they interacted with the reel. They saw the tag and they commented and said, you know, hey, we want to see you. Thanks for coming in. And so that's a great way to make connections with other businesses, other brands in your community. You know, a good way to start relationships, start some partnerships and things like that is to do some of that cross promotion. So whether it's spontaneous, where something like this, you know, we just tagged them and hoped that they would see it and that they would respond, or if you're actually working with another business, someone or together, post it together across platforms and tag each other so that you get the benefits of both of those audiences. Okay, so we've talked about what you can put in your reel as far as content goes. So what are some things that you can post about? So now let's talk about some of the mechanics behind actually creating the post and putting that together. So some posting tips. These are small details, but they really do make a big difference. So use music. That trending audio is a little bit like hashtags in that it lets people find your video. Every time your reel is, you add some music to your video, your reel gets exposed to that specific song's tag. So it is similar with hashtags as far as reach goes. And the other thing to think about, even though we just mentioned music, there are a lot of people that watch reels without any audio at all. So it's really important to add captions anytime you have any kind of voiceover or any kind of speaking, that you have those captions on the screen as well, so that people can still engage with your reel, even if their sound is turned off. Captions are also really important for accessibility purposes. So anytime you have any kind of speaking in your reels, make sure you have captions turned on. Something else that's kind of key to posting is to create a cover photo for your reel. You don't have to worry about your reel throwing off your Instagram aesthetic or having maybe an unflattering screen grab from your reel. Maybe you're making a face you don't like, or it's just not a great capture of a moment in your reel. So you can create a cover photo to maintain your feed's layout and actually get the look that you want to have. You can also add titles to those cover photos so that as people are scrolling through your feed, your reel feed, they can easily select which reel they want to watch. Then they'll know, okay, this reel is about Instagram, this reel is about media, this reel is about a different product or service, and they can kind of scroll through and select the reel that they want to watch right from your feed. The last thing is make sure you're posting your reel to your feed. You can organically post your reel through the reel platform, or you can also publish it on your own feed so that people who are already following you and already connected with you can see it. So for the most part, it's best practice to publish to your feed so that your current audience can engage too. So this will also help you build more content and promote your account with people who are already interested in you, in your brand, in your business, and then it gives them access to that content that you're creating. You have a business account on Instagram. If your Instagram account is a business account, you can actually take a look at your insights, your professional insights. If you go to your profile, it's going to be right there at the top. And that will tell you when your audience is actually using Instagram. So that will give you an idea of, is your audience on in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, more on weekends or weekdays or specific days during the week. And that'll let you know when should you be posting the reel. So pay attention to that timing and pay attention to when your specific audience is on Instagram, because it also might be different than what you see if you just research general Instagram usage times. So your audience might be on Instagram at different times than kind of the general Instagram audience. Also share your reel to your stories, but make your stories, because there are people who might not be scrolling through the feed, and because the feed is sometimes out of order in terms of timing, when people are watching your story, they can actually watch your reel right there in your stories. And that also counts towards, so make sure you're sharing to your stories. And then lastly, interact with your audience. So use your reels as an opportunity to ask questions, to ask for feedback. When people are commenting on your reels, make sure that you're going in and you're responding to those comments, and you're responding to any questions, or at the very least, liking the comments that they are leaving on your Instagram. So now we're going to post a reel together. So we're going to kind of walk through these next few steps. And then at the end, you're going to be able to go on to MConnections Instagram and actually take a look at the reel that we're going to post right now. So first off, a reel, you're going to go to your Instagram account, you're going to go to your profile, and it's going to look something like this. You're going to go up to the top where this is circled in red and click the little plus and select the reel from the drop-down menu. Next, you're going to choose the video from your camera roll. So that's going to be right down here at the bottom, circled in red. And that video is either going to be one that you've already taken on your phone, or maybe it's a video that you created in Canva and then sent to yourself. So make sure that you take that video out of your email or off of Google Drive or wherever it's saved and save it to your camera roll, because that's where you're going to be able to pull the video from your camera roll onto Instagram. So we're going to select it there and then add the video to your reel. And you'll see up here at the top, Instagram Reels can be anywhere from 15 seconds to 90 seconds. And you're going to be able to see at the top how much more time you have. So this reel, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little white line here. So this is just showing that my video is short. So it's not taking up all of the time that Instagram has allotted me, and that's okay. You don't have to use all 90 seconds. But if I had wanted to, I could have gone in and added another video and another video to get me up to whatever the maximum, which for Instagram is 90 seconds. So you select your video and then you click this little add button here up at the top. And this is where we're going to choose our audio. So Jesse, kind of going back to your question about the music licensing. So once you add your video to your reel, it's going to look like this first screen here. And there's going to be a little music button up at the top. And this you can click on to get to this screen here, which is going to let you search for music. So Instagram will also recommend music for you based on either other reels that you've created or audio that from reels that you might have saved or that you might have interacted with. But you can also search for music. So you can type in an artist, you can type in a song name, and then you can select a random chunk that Instagram selects for you in the middle. You can go through and you can select, once you've chosen your song, you can go through and select what piece of audio you want and where you want it to run. Next, and then we're going to edit cover. And this is where, again, you're going to click that image and you're going to be given two options. So the first option is going to be to select a cover image from your reel. So you're just selecting a video still, essentially. Or there's going to be a second option that says add cover from camera roll. And that's where you're going to be able to upload your own photo, your own image to be the cover. And that's what people are going to see when they're scrolling through your Instagram profile, is going to be the cover. And then when they click on that reel, then the reel itself is going to play. So you're going to click that edit cover button, add the cover that you want, and then you're ready to post. So now you can see how I've added a cover here. So now this is what the front of my reel looks like. Instead of the graphic from before, which was this is what would have shown up on our Instagram feed. Now show up. I've added a caption here too. And then we're going to post our reel. Make sure you have this button turned on. So this is the share to feed. So this makes sure that once you do this, that your reel actually gets posted to your Instagram feed. And then you click share and that's it. And then you've posted your first reel. So that's the mechanics of posting reels to Instagram. So we've talked about content, we've talked about how to post and some posting strategies and done a little walkthrough. Now we want to ask questions. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, but I will stay on video and we will open it up to any questions that anybody has.
Oh my gosh, I love the reel that you just made, Alexis. In fact, someone texted me while you're doing it, like, oh my gosh, how exciting. Like, so fun to see it in action. So, okay, we have our first question from David. He asks, when starting, what is the best way to get value from creating reels? It's a great question.
Oh, that is a really good question. So I think the best way to get value when you're first starting, obviously everybody wants to go viral, right? It'd be great if all the reels that we created got like 10,000 views and they all went viral. But the reality is that's hard to do. What you really want is to create content that's going to connect with your audience now. So, we talk about this in marketing all the time, and in sales all the time, that it's easier to nurture the leads that you already have than it is to go out and get more leads. So focus on the audience that you have on Instagram already. Get to know them, know the content that they like, know what it is that they're looking for, and post reels that they are going to watch, that they're going to interact with, that's going to connect with them. And that will help. The more you build your views that way, that will help increase your chances that your reels might get seen by other people. So the way I would say to get started, if you're looking for that value, is to create reels for your existing audience and show them the content that they're looking for. And obviously to follow all of these posting strategies, most of them are fairly basic in that they are not complicated to get started. You know, knowing when your audience is online, so you're posting at the right time, posting the content that your audience is going to connect with, things like that. Those are really easy things that are going to kind of give you a leg up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And Alexis, I love one of the examples you gave showed that boutique owner just trying on different clothes. And I love that one every time you show it for so many reasons. One, because she's just an everyday person. And she's, you know, you're not seeing the clothes on some pictures of models that don't represent what you look like or what probably what her customers look like.
Mhm.
And it's her putting herself out there in front of her customers, connecting with her customers. You and I were even talking this morning about how, you know, you were saying like, oh, well, you know, can I just still show my slides full screen or do I have to show me? And it's like, oh, well, you know, the more we see you, the more we connect with you.
Yep.
Same thing in these reels, just seeing her, because I imagine some people watching, myself included, were thinking like, I don't like, really, am I going to try on clothes to show off my store? Am I going to do this thing that this person's doing? But that's how we connect with our customers. So I really love that idea of not really focusing on going viral, but focusing on connecting with the people that you're already connected with. We're going to go to the next question, but right before that, I want to ask one follow-up question, Alexis, and maybe you can even pull up an example if I'm not throwing you off. To show what those numbers mean. So when we're talking about going viral, you know, getting 1 million people to watch is great. Obviously, those 1 million people from around the world are not going to walk into your retail store or donate to your nonprofit or you know, buy websites from you, you know, whatever your business might be. But it does help within the algorithm. The more people you have watching, if you do have something that goes viral or even gets a few thousand hits, you know, a few thousand views on it, that's obviously going to help you. Can you talk about that? And then could you also make like why that number is important and how much kind of value to put, how much stock to put into those numbers? And then I'm also wondering if we even show like M Connections as an example, the Instagram page of what a typical post reach looks like versus what the reach of a reel looks like, because there's a huge difference, even just in the number of people that are getting that post, you know, getting that reel because of the format.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to log into Instagram here on my computer. So it's going to look a little bit different because Instagram was made more for phones than computers, but I'll log in here. So one of the things I will say too about talking about, you know, the numbers and looking at the numbers, you know, you can a little bit let those numbers sort of tell you what people want to see. So you'll notice when I show the real numbers for M Connections, and actually, here's the thing: these numbers are not secret. So if you go on any Instagram account and you go to the Reels tab, that's going to show you the views on those reels for any Instagram account ever. So these aren't like secret numbers that anyone, you know, can or can't see. You can see them for any business, any platform, or any influencer or anything like that. So what I would say, especially when you're just starting out with the reels, is to do some experimenting, create some reels, and let those numbers kind of tell you what are people really interested in seeing. You know, what kinds of videos are people really engaging with? And that's going to tell you, you're going to be able to capitalize on that, like use that information, use that data to help guide you in creating your next reel and your next reel.
What a great point, because how many people say, well, you know, yeah, I'd post, but I have no idea what to post about.
Right.
Well, now you can go look at what are others in your industry doing? What are other influencers doing? That's a great idea.
So I'm going to share this really quickly here. So this is the M Connections Instagram page. And this is our, also, if you're wondering how to see, you know, exclusively reels. So when you go onto somebody's Instagram page, it looks like this. It just shows you all of the posts right there. But you can actually go to this tab here and it's going to show you just reels. So you can click there and see all the reels, and you can see these numbers at the bottom. This is the one that we just posted. Which, while we're here, let's just go ahead. Oh, actually, I'm gonna reshare my screen because I'm gonna share it so that we can listen to the audio also. And then we can go ahead and watch the reel that we just posted.
Okay, all right. It's about damn time. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight.
Okay, so that's the one that we just posted again, featuring my
How
child.
do you not dance while you're listening to that? I like to turn my video off because I'm over here dancing with James. So cute. I love
That was
it.
it was a fun one to put together. And I'll tell you too, because I saw a question. I don't want to bounce around too much, but I did see a question, Dave, you had asked about if you don't have videos that you're comfortable sharing or up to your standards, how do you make reels? I will tell you, this video is not taken with reels in mind. I took this in my parents' backyard a couple of weeks ago when we were out with our kiddo and decided to turn it into a reel. And part of the reason is because if you look down here, you'll see this video of James, the one that we watched earlier, got 1,500 views. And so I know by looking at this number in comparison to some of these other numbers, people really liked this video. People really like to see a video of a cute baby and,
Yeah, can you blame them?
I mean, no, I can't. People really like to see, and also this one right next to it, this one of Julie, 1,200 views. People really like to see people. This one
Which
here.
fun point too, Alexis, to point out. If you look through all of the reels on our M Connections Instagram, you will not see Alexis in any of them. She's not in any of the videos.
That's
When
true.
you talk about not wanting to put yourself out there, Alexis has found some really creative ways around like sitting in front of the camera. And we've talked
Mhm.
about that, that's perfectly okay. I still think she'll make her debut at some point. But you don't have to necessarily, like if there's something that you're really uncomfortable with, we have people all the time tell us, I don't want to dance on camera. Well, okay, then don't.
Yeah.
You don't have
Absolutely.
to.
Yep, absolutely. And this video here, this is another one that I'll mention because this was a cross promotion. So we had this video from the marketing summit in Lansing, and we tagged several different businesses, local businesses. And, that's where that number comes from. Also, we got to see Julie and Dave here in this video. But you can see what that cross promotion does for your numbers. And so this is just a really great way. Again, this video featured Julie. And so that's, you can see where those numbers go. And so that's what I would say if you're wondering kind of like where to start out or how to use this information, let this guide you into the kind of content that you want to create. Posting reels is always going to be better than not posting reels. So don't be afraid if you post one and it doesn't get a lot of views, or you get a ton of views on one and not very much on the other. That's okay. You posted the content. It's still great. It still works great with the algorithm. Just let those numbers sort of guide your posting strategy long-term and let them kind of dictate, give you that information to dictate how you're going to move forward.
All right. I want to move to this TikTok question in just a moment, Jessie. Alexis, on those numbers, you mentioned not taking a lot of don't let it dishearten you if a reel doesn't take off. And I know there are a lot of factors that go into, the kind of views that a reel gets. And sometimes it has nothing to do with your content. Can you talk about some of those different factors and things that people should consider?
Yeah, so we talked about one of them already earlier, which was timing. So the time of day that you might be posting, that can definitely influence how many views your reel gets.
Huge influence, actually. Yeah.
Whether or not you post your reels to your stories, sharing your reels to your stories, that can influence how many views your reel gets, because those views also count to your total number. Using things like captions, using things like trending music. So great to use music for sure. You always want to put the music on from the Instagram platform and not from outside of the Instagram platform. And if you have a great, perfect song, then awesome, use the great, perfect song, but also keep in mind that trending music, it's a lot like hashtags, and people might be looking through trending audio to find the reels they want to watch instead of looking by business or by industry or by hashtag. And so that's another way that you can get people to actually see the reels that you're creating, is to make sure that you're using audio that is trending. So those are some key ways, and some, again, I say they're beginner ways because you don't have to know everything there is to know about the Instagram platform or the algorithm to take advantage of those things that will help boost your views. So they're pretty easy ways to just get started and to start implementing some of those things.
Absolutely. Well, and if you're going to put the work into creating a reel, you want to make sure people are going to see it.
Yeah.
Alexis, do you think people should repost something if it's not getting a lot of views and they think maybe the timing was off or something like that? Should you
Yeah.
recycle content?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially when you think about how much time goes into creating the content, your content is never going to be seen by everyone every time. So recycling content, repurposing content is a great idea. You don't want to do it on Monday and Tuesday, but take content that you posted in June, and if maybe it didn't get the reach you were looking for, or it did, and you think it could have gone even further, you know, in late July, in August, take that content and repurpose it. You know, maybe you can make a modification. You can take the same video, write a new caption, take the same caption, you know, adjust the reel, make a new cover photo. You can do some small things to make some adjustments without, again, reinventing the reel and starting from scratch again. But definitely, if you feel like you have content that didn't get the kind of views you want, or you think it could have gone even further, definitely repurpose that content and make the most of your time and the information that you're sharing.
Okay, so I saved TikTok for now because quite a few, this gets a little bit more in depth here with comparing the platforms and some do's and don'ts about sharing on both TikTok and Instagram. So let's first go to Jesse's question. He says that Reels seem similar to TikToks, same kind of content, different platform, or is it a completely different vibe? So Alexis, fill us in on the difference between Instagram Reels and TikTok.
Yes, it's a great question. And it's one that gets asked a lot because on the surface, they do seem really similar. I would say that most of the time, obviously it's all audience dependent. So there's not going to be one right answer for every business because, you know, every business's audience is different. Mostly TikTok skews towards a younger generation and slightly less professional, less business focused. You know, TikTok is more about where you're going to see some of the trends. Reels, you can still see trends, but TikTok is typically where they start and really where they catch on. You can create similar content for both platforms. One thing you're not going to want to do is to take your TikTok videos and just repost them to Instagram with the TikTok logo. Instagram does not like that. Instagram wants you to create content for Instagram, for their platform. They don't really want you to be repurposing content from another platform and just bringing it over. So if you have TikTok videos, especially that have that TikTok logo, they are very likely not going to get seen because Instagram is going to put them way down on the priority list. You can take the video that you use to create a TikTok and create a reel. You would just create it the same way that we did in the presentation, where you would add your music right from the Instagram platform, and you would add your cover photo and you would post it and it would become an Instagram reel, as opposed to just taking a TikTok and repurposing it. So they're similar, but you're going to just want to be careful and know your audience. You know, if you are on both platforms and you are interested in being on both platforms, that's great. But just make sure that you know who your audience is on both, because it's very likely two different groups of people.
Yeah. And okay. Unless this has changed, because depending on if you're watching it live or maybe in a replay down the road, things change on the daily. As of right now, when you create a video, when you create a reel on Instagram and you download it before before you've saved it, you just save it into your, your camera's photos or videos. It does not have a watermark. So if you first create it in Instagram, you can download it, save it on your phone, noting it will save the captions that you've created, so any text you've created, but it will not save the audio because that is licensed only for the platform, not for your individual use. So you can create something on Instagram, for example, save it, then upload that into TikTok. It will not have any of the watermarks, that sort of thing. You will still have to natively within TikTok add the audio, any music you want, that sort of thing. Now, again, this is where it gets a little tricky. it's better to recreate it entirely in the next platform, because even something as simple as adding captions, if you're in the platform and you're selecting that platform's option for adding captions, that helps you within the algorithm. The more tools you use, the better off it is. There are times when we say, okay, find a filter to add to it. And it doesn't have to be a crazy filter, with crazy sunglasses and a hat or whatever. Like, it can be like a very simple, natural, almost nothing looking filter, but that's going to help you within the algorithm. Adding sound. I know for the Think Tank of Three podcast, for example, it's, we want our original sound because that's what we're promoting, but we will take a trending song, especially an instrumental song, and just add it really softly in the background so that we're still adding music, which we know is going to help us within the algorithm. And you can actually see from one clip to another, same posting time, same, pretty much same everything. It makes a huge difference when you're adding those elements within the platform.
Yeah, Julie, I'm glad you mentioned that about music too, and adding music, because that's something else that when you go through that process of creating a reel, you can adjust the volume. So you can adjust the volume of your video, you can turn it down, you can turn it up, and you can adjust the volume of the music that you add. You can turn it down or you can turn it up. So that's a really great point, that you can add music to your reels that maybe you don't really need the music, but you want to add it from an algorithm perspective. And you can use the volume buttons right in the app to turn that music down so that it's not distracting, but that it's still there. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
So I'm curious, of those in our audience, how many of you are already creating reels? Are you using them personally, professionally? Let us know, chime in. And do you have any tips that you want to share, or any more questions as we get ready to wrap up this lunchtime series today?
And also I'll mention, if you do create a reel after this, after you've watched this presentation, tag us in it, because we want to see it. So let's use that cross promotion, give us a tag so that we can go over and we can like it and we can watch it, and we can see what you've done.
Absolutely. So any questions from the group? I'm curious, if you're working on reels, what kind of reel story ideas you have, any special storylines that you're working on, looking at who is in our group of attendees right now. I'm going to pick on Farmer Nathan for a moment of Creswick Farms. Hey, Nathan, so glad you could join us. Nathan has this beautiful family farm on the west side of the state. And I took my nieces and nephew there last summer. I can't believe it's been a year already since we were out there, Nathan. But we were visiting the farm and actually getting more of a behind the scenes look that most customers don't get. So Nathan, your farm is full of ideas for reels, things that people aren't going to see on the daily, whether it's videos of your chickens as they're running around, or of Blossom, the baby calf that was born last year, different things like that just give people. Alexis, you mentioned that whole list of ideas of what to create when generating reels. Any other ideas, Alexis? We also have a couple of nonprofits actually in our participants and our attendees today. So what kind of ideas to tell the nonprofit story?
I mean, I think when you're telling, particularly with a nonprofit story, the biggest thing is to get that FaceTime somehow. People really like stories about other people. They like stories that they can connect with. They like stories that are meaningful, and that they can kind of see that personality and see that, hear that voice, see that face. So I think it really all goes back to that storytelling aspect. And every reel, no matter whether it's 15 seconds or 90 seconds, should tell a story. And so figuring out, what is that story? What is that component that's really going to connect with people? And putting that in your reel. I think for nonprofits, that's really what nonprofits are built around, right? Is stories, and is people, and it's the connections that you have with people in the community, and highlighting those would make for some really powerful content to share in reels.
Yeah, it's something that both ladies on the call, your organizations do very well. So continuing that through this video trend, Alexis, it's also, I think, worth pointing out that because I believe everyone in the attendees list right now has long form videos that they're using, and long form meaning more than 90 seconds, right? Like we're talking short form videos for reels and for I got distracted by Nathan. Nathan, you were so funny. So those of you who have long form videos, taking 30-second clips, 60-second, 90-second, or whatever in between clips, and reformatting it. Alexis, maybe you could give an example of one or two clients that we work on where we just reformat some of their long form videos for their reels and create them for them.
I would love to share a reel that one of our clients has just posted, and where we did just that. So let me share my screen here really quick and we will take a look at that one. All right.
All with Fund a Life. Our nonprofit helps people facing major life-altering circumstances of all kinds across the state of Michigan. Join in on our 3rd annual Drive to Survive event. And also, we're going to be raffling off an opportunity to win a Porsche provided by Suburban.
Okay, so this is a reel that was actually created out of I think like three minute video. And it's just under a minute, that reel. And it was just some key sections, some key audio and some key video that was taken to create a reel out of a much longer promotional video. So that is a perfect example of how you can take something that's maybe lengthy and just turn it into like little snippets, just enough to get people interested, to get them hooked, and then to follow, whatever your call to action is.
Absolutely. Also, because as I was watching, I was like, ooh, fun event this weekend, guys.
Yes.
And who doesn't want to sign up to win a Porsche? So yeah, great way to capture attention. And like you said, taking that long form video and making it shorter. Okay, last question for today. Jesse says, for blogging, which his company advises on, we often recommend people start with questions that they commonly get from customers. Great idea, Jesse, answering those FAQs. It gets them in the habit about thinking about interesting consumer-centric content. But he says he's never had a real content plan. Is there a similar framework he should use? Like his first 10 reels should be X, Y, and Z. Oh, and he's asking for a friend, which I think I know your friend, Jesse. So yes, let's help Allison out. What kind of reels should she be? I mean, let's help his friend out. What kind of reels should she be creating?
Okay, so I would say, truly, like there's no right answer for, these are the reels that you must create. But I think like blogging, when you're talking about, the customer centric content, reels, I always come back to as a great opportunity to show your face and introduce yourself, to show who you are. What are you offering? Let people get to know you. There's so much more that you can get from a video than you can get from a photo or written captions. So if I were creating a reel content plan, my first 10 reels would be all about introducing myself, my business, my motivation, my background, maybe a day in the life. I would focus on getting people to connect with me as the entrepreneur, as the business owner. And then once I had built those connections, once I had that foundation, then also transitioning more content into being about services and products and what can I offer you and what are some solutions that I can provide for you, what are your pain points, how can I solve them, things like that. But I think if you're just getting started, you're trying to figure out how do I introduce reels into my content plan, start by introducing yourself, start by letting people get to know you, start by letting them see your face, talk about, I'm going to be here now. I'm going to be creating reels. I want to answer questions, ask people what content they would like to see from you. How would they like to engage with you? Give them that opportunity to provide you feedback and then take that feedback and go from there.
That's a great content strategy. Jesse, I would also add as we kind of zoom out and look at big picture. So as we're looking at the website and we're looking at email marketing and we're looking at of course, Reels and social media, along with all of these other things that we're doing in our big picture strategy, look at what you can repurpose, right? So if you, for instance, are already blogging and you're doing it well, then how do you start incorporating pieces of those blogs within your Reels? How do you turn those blogs into video content? For example, and you all can look this up if you're interested, we created our trends blog for this year. We actually took for, every group of 5 trends, we did 1 reel. And so each, multiple members of our team created 1 reel with 5 trends each. And then we've been using that content, repurposing that content all year. In fact, we've got a brand new blog about to go out, I think next week, actually, next week or the following. Alexis is on that calendar. So we've got a brand new blog about to go out that's saying, okay, these were our top 20 trends in January. Where are they now? Have they shifted? Have they evolved? Has anything changed with these trends? And between now and the end of the year, so the next 6 months, which ones should you focus on? So we wrote that content, written form, long form blog. We then created reels with that content and kind of grouping them out, grouping them together, multiple trends in each reel. And now we're about to recycle that through again with multiple posts, throughout the last 6 months and continuing through the end of the year. So I would say, especially for those who are, which I think is everyone, but I was going to say those who are tight on time or looking to find ways to maximize what you're getting out of the time you're spending, look for ways where you can get the most bang for your buck and repurpose content.
Yeah. Also, Julia, just saw a message from Dawn. I'm going to try a reel tonight when we are at the Lugnuts game selling raffle tickets, usually just posting pictures to our stories. We love it. Tag us in the reel so that we can watch it and we can come over.
Absolutely. My internet keeps going out, guys. Sorry, it's a little unstable. What are you going to do? Yes, we will be watching for Dawn's reel tonight. Everyone look for that. And so we can all share it and cross promote it. Dawn, thank you so much for letting us know about that. Alexis, thank you so much for your presentation today. This was really helpful, and hopefully our audience found it helpful as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to share the information, and thanks for the great questions, everybody. This was a really good conversation, and just know if you have any other questions or you need more information, we have a blog on our website right now, all about Reels on Instagram. You can always reach out to us with questions, and if you need additional guidance, we are here to help.
Absolutely. And make sure to join us back here 1 week from today at noon. So next Thursday, Paul Schmidt is going to be presenting on video. You'll find our full lineup for the next 10 weeks on the same Zoom link. Because you're here, we know you're already signed up. You do not need to register for each individual session. If you have any questions in the meantime, just reach out to us at mconnections.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.